Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. No, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time you're watching this, I'm glad you joined us. Welcome back to the Real Business Roundtable, where we're going to talk about...
Today we are talking about the power of positioning.
Positioning. So for the viewers, what do you mean when you say positioning? What exactly do you mean by that?
What we're talking about is creating an environment that will help you facilitate your goals or facilitate achievement. What do you do? Who are the people you hang out with? What are the things that you surround yourself with to make sure that they're in line to help you, reach your goals, even if it's one goal or a bunch of goals to reach a bigger goal to kind of set yourself up for success.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one. It's this has been a part of the learning process for me. I feel like I've gotten a good handle on it throughout my experience doing all this. But no, that's a good point. What you surround yourself with and what's that word? The topic. What is it called? The
positioning.
The positioning. How you position yourself is extremely important. And it's not all about work hard, this and that. Yes, that's very important, but I don't think that's just one aspect of how to become successful.
Mm-hmm.
Positioning is another massive one. So I think it's a really good topic and, a good thing for people to understand that it really does, out of both of our experiences, it really does have an impact.
It does, without a doubt. You have to look at, okay, what is my goal? What am I doing? What am I surrounding myself with? Am I making the small efforts to try to position myself to reach that goal? So for example, let's give the audience an example for, let's say your business has relied on word of mouth for the last 5 years. That's the foundation of any good business. Word of mouth, you got a good product, you got a good service, words getting around that you have that good product, good service, and you get customers that way. Usually you're going to hit a plateau. And to break through that plateau, you need to position yourself for that next level of growth. For a business, one of the key points is visibility.
Yeah.
And what you want to do to position yourself for that visibility, what you want to do is to maximize your visibility on where the attention is. So where's the attention? People are on social media. People are using Google as a reference to look things up. People are looking and absorbing and consuming content. You want to make sure that you're putting content out there. Just that type of digital strategy adds a whole nother layer of positioning to help you grow your business.
So that's a different type of positioning. That's not an internal one. That's more for a business, is positioning your business online in a way that is going to drive more traffic to your business, getting more sales, which is the life of the business.
We can talk about personal positioning.
Yeah, so there's
different types. There's
yes.
the business positioning, which is, a lot of our audience are entrepreneurs, but also people who are kind of focusing on themselves.
Yeah.
To position yourself for better health and fitness is to try not to have junk food in the house. Try to get exercise in. Have a balance of anaerobic and aerobic workouts, which means basically cardio and lifting weights. Constantly focusing on how to do a little bit better, switching things up, maybe weighing yourself, checking your body fat, just positioning yourself in a way to constantly see progress to reach your goal.
Yeah.
It could be personal career. Maybe somebody, kind of dresses like a bum and it's time to go to the next level. They maybe dress a little bit better. Maybe surround yourself with better friends.
And we're gonna get we're gonna get into that. I don't want to give them everything at the beginning of the episode. No, but so this when you brought up this topic idea, it what initially first resonated with me was I thought of a quote, or not necessarily a quote, but a mindset. So now imagine a water bottle. You can get a random generic whatever brand of water from a convenience store for $1.99, $2, whatever, $1, whatever it may be. You can get it for really cheap. But then you can also get that same exact water at an airport for $4, $5, even $6. Yeah. Same exact water, $4, $5, $6. You go to a festival or a concert, you're getting that same exact water for $7. My point of explaining this is, you add a certain value in your business, in the place of work. it's about where you are. If you don't see if you don't see that you are getting the value that you deserve in the place that you are, maybe you're not in the right place. And that's all about positioning. That's all about, your surroundings. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can get the same exact water for $1 or for $7. Same water, same brand, same everything. It's just in a different place. Now put that, think about that as an occupation, as a job, as a, as your mindset. Where are you? Are you not in a place are you undervalued in the place that you're at now? Because if you are, then you need to move to a different place. So that that when you brought up this topic, that resonated with me. I heard that recently, and I really liked that mindset. A good way to look at what you do, look at the value that you provide. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. I know what you're saying. I agree totally. I just think that positioning can be applied
so many different ways
to anything. You could be positioning yourself to make a really good meal, and to position yourself to make that to make that really good meal, like a chef, a top chef. Say you're watching the YouTube videos, you're learning about what ingredients, when you mix them together, how they taste, well, you compare it with this, and you're just kind of setting yourself up to become a really good cook. It could be anything, but it's about taking those steps and surrounding yourself with either media or information and education that is going to position you to become a better cook.
Yeah.
It can be applied to anything.
Yeah. So let's get into business.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm telling you, I have this tickle in the back of my throat. Business. So how do you position your business? Different ways to position your business to be more valuable, to do more sales, to all that.
So to position your business to stand out, it's all about being different. So what you want to do is research ways that you can be different than the competition. That would position you to be distinguished. Okay, so if you want to be different, you want to be attractive as a business, you want to find out the things that would resonate with your customer base, what's going to be important to them, where are they going to see value, whether it's, how many items they get in a product or a service, or how many hours they get, or what it might be. You want to make sure that whatever you put together is different, so you are positioned to be different. That's very important for a business to be different than the competition.
Yeah, 100%. Now, positioning within a business could also be, like we said, there's so many different ways to do this, but also could be sponsoring a run, or it could be, positioning yourself somehow to get in the news. And
so that's more of like a social proof play where people are going to do their research on your business, or they're going to just kind of stumble upon something you did. Say you donated X amount of dollars to a charity or something like that. They'll see that and they'll say, wow, these guys are giving back to the community. Yeah. That would position you for more of a public opinion on more of a positive direction.
You got to think of what does your business, or what do you want your business to be affiliated with, and then get out there and be affiliated with that thing. You know what I mean? This could be the reason why I'm not getting too deep with this is because it could work for any business. It could work for construction, maybe development, helping a veteran with something, or it could be food. It could be doing charity with food, like giving food off to like a homeless shelter, or it could be anything. Anything.
So let's just say a construction company really wants to scale their business outside of direct advertising. They could network with, for example, if you're a construction company, you could network with architects and say, hey, if you guys have any projects that come your way, I'd be happy to facilitate all the construction and getting this done for you. And say you network with 20 different architectural firms, they can give you work without you even trying. So you're not only relying on advertising, you have a whole new pathway of business. You're positioning your business for growth by networking.
Yeah.
It's very important on who you surround yourself with, who you network with, and who you link up with, because those people can actually position you for the growth that you might be looking for. It's not always about direct advertising and word of mouth.
No, not at all.
It's all about networking with people that might need help to help. Let's say they do one part of the process, and there's 3 other pieces that they don't handle, that they sub out. You'll say, hey, I'll handle all those 3 pieces for you, no problem. Now they look at you as a resource.
Yeah, networking is also a massive part of positioning. networking has been a massive part of, our success, just knowing people and, who are they connected with. And it could be another massive opportunity. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it's led us to, networking is extremely, extremely powerful. And that's all about, positioning the people around you. Who's around you? Who are you hanging out with? Who are you talking to? Who are you communicating with? All these things are very strategical, and it may seem, very unnatural, but in some cases it can be extremely natural. You can create a relationship with someone who is in a very similar industry as you, or in a different industry as you, but they're in business, and you guys find commonalities and you guys get along, and all this stuff that we're saying, especially with networking and with creating relationships, it could sound unnatural, but I can tell you firsthand, it can be extremely natural. A lot of, especially with this certain situation, I say this because when I first started, I thought, people create business relationships, like it seems unnatural. Like it seems like people are trying to take advantage of, but that's not true at all. That's not true at all. You create relationships throughout building a business and going out there and networking, and these relationships are real relationships. I talk to some of these guys once a week. We just chat and
let's just say you're out there and you're trying to get funding for your business. You don't just sit there and go, I want funding, I really hope I get funding. No. You go out, you network, you talk to other business owners, you figure out if they got funding, where did they go? Did they go VC? Did they go to just an angel investor? Did they go private equity? Whatever it might be, you want to talk and just constantly do the things that are going to help you take a step towards the direction or the goal that you're trying to hit. That's positioning right there. You literally could throw me any industry, any goal for anyone, and I can tell you exactly how to position yourself to reach that goal. It could be fitness. It could be, like I said, to cook better, to do, let's say somebody wanted to learn math or some kind of like calculus or whatever. I'd say, hey, watch YouTube videos on calculus, maybe pick up a couple books, see if there's any tutoring videos out there or whatever, and just surround yourself with that. When you surround yourself with that, you are positioning yourself to hit that goal. Mm-hmm. So don't just say, hey, I really wish I could do this. No, position yourself to do that. Position yourself to reach that goal. And positioning is the environment that helps you reach that goal. The environment are everything out there, all the stimuli, all the content you consume, the people you talk to, the people that you're around, who influences you, who's giving you guidance. If someone's giving you bad guidance, move them out of the way and focus on the people that are helping you reach that goal that you're trying to reach.
Or if people are influencing you poorly, if they have negative influences as well, that's a big one too. If you notice something that people are doing that's not benefiting you and your goal and what you want to do and your success, then, you don't have to cut them out, but just, take yourself out of there.
Ultimately, it's an environment of achievement. There might be multiple things that you're trying to achieve. It's about creating an environment for motivation and sectors that are going to help you get there. It's not just about saying that you want to get there. No. So for this next part, let's talk about some different industries and how those industries could position themselves, let's say to be different.
Actually, no. Let's do this. Name one or two examples of how you position yourself in the growth of your company. What are some, something, how did you...
So one of the things that how I positioned myself is to not be a nitpicky nickel and dimer. So what I found in my industry was that it was filled with, and this doesn't go for everybody, that everyone was a nitpicky nickel and dimer. What that means is every move as, say, a growth consultant that focuses on digital, every move you make, you will get billed for something else, and then something else, and then something else, and oh no, you can't do that. My mindset is I'm going to be different than these guys, and I'm going to focus on the goals. And yeah, obviously I'll have my fees, but the dynamic of the relationship is to help them do better over and over again. Not if I need to do something else, I'm not going to send them a bill for it because I sold them our consulting services to reach a goal. And if you nickel and dime a client to death, they start to become really annoyed with you. And
Yeah.
that's the feeling I don't want my clients to feel.
Yeah, and I think you did this through. I noticed this too. You did it through the contract where, you'll have the proposal. Normally, with other people in our industry, they'll have their base, fixed cost every single month, and then they'll have add-ons and this and that, and it'll be this much, and then you have to put a down payment in, and they'll this and that and this and that. What we did was we took everything that we could possibly imagine as a hidden fee, and we bundled it all together into one payment, and then we spread it out
over
accordingly to the customer or the client's budget needs
we stretch it out almost like financing, because we're lowering the barrier of entry.
Yes.
A lot of really good small businesses can't engage a qualified consultancy because they just can't afford it. They've never done it before. They don't know that making that investment is going to change their business for the better. So I looked at that as an opportunity. I said, let me make this easy for them. Let me just float them and let me put in the work. Yeah, I'm taking a little bit of a risk, but with no risk, there's no reward. I just said, hey, let's try to make it as easy as possible for people to take their business to the next level. And people like that. So people will look at our proposals and they'll go, well, how much is this? I'm like, that's included. Well, how much is that? That's included.
Yeah.
And you should see their gears are turning and they're like, well, wait, this is really good. Wow, okay. And that way you have a higher chance of people moving forward at a higher rate, which is helping you with better cash flow for your business. So if you are running a digital agency or consultancy or whatever, try to be different than your competition. Don't use the same playbook. I'm a big anti-playbook guy. I don't mimic. I look at what they do, competition. I look at what competition does as a baseline of what mostly I shouldn't do, because I want to be different. Now, because I'm different, I'm positioning my business to get that client before somebody else. I literally have had, and I'm not trying to brag, I've had other consultants in my industry see my proposal and they're like, holy crap, this is really comprehensive. This is good. The price point is reasonable. And this is insane. Like, wow, you guys get a whole team. So for example, another way that I position myself for success is I provide our clients with a team of people that specialize in each discipline, whether it be social, graphics, web development, SEO, AI, doesn't matter. I have a specialist in each area that manages that collectively and collaboratively to help position the clients for success. If you deal with a lot of like smaller consultancies out there, it's one guy. He becomes overwhelmed. So I didn't want to be that guy. So I tried to like look at all the elements out there and I said, how can I position myself to do very well, to compete, to attract more clients naturally and be in a position for success. And that's what I decided to do.
Yeah, no, and that's a really great example of, positioning yourself, especially in this industry. But, one thing that I found when I first started was, I was just this young kid in the middle of nowhere to some of these people. Like, who am I? What do I do? Like, it doesn't matter to them. They're not going to listen to me. And so one big thing for me was I wanted to just get my name out there within the business world. I did not want to be well known for from people who wouldn't work with me. I wanted to be known in the place where I could get more business, right? I guess. And so how I position myself in that sense is, through networking. So when I first started, let's say, how can I explain this? So like reaching out to businesses, cold calling, walking in, instead of reaching out to just random businesses that I've, found off a list or that I did research, I focused on one industry and I made sure that they remembered me somehow. Whenever I spoke to someone, I focused on one industry. For example, construction. A ton of people know us. Automotive, a ton of people know us. And restaurants, a ton of people know us. And it's because of the way that, we weren't just reaching out to, any industry. We focused on one industry for a certain amount of time and we hit that industry hard. And then we moved on to a different one.
And we got the attention of a very, very big restaurant group.
Yeah, I mean, well, so I'm getting to that point.
Yeah.
So when you focus on, when you kind of figure out a problem that you want to solve within your what you're trying to achieve, and then you solve it. For me, it was reaching out to one specific industry and reaching out hard and making sure that they remembered my name, and what we did and what we provided. When you hit that industry hard in this example, bigger companies within the industry are going to find out about you. There's going to be word. For like you were just saying, we got the attention of a massive restaurant group. And then, in construction, we got the attention of a massive a national construction company.
Yep.
So it's just like that for me was how I positioned myself differently than, just kind of, just doing whatever I think would work. I thought of how can I position myself so that all these people would know me. Oh, also, I just, I reached out to different groups and I didn't sell people, but I was just like just making awareness for some things that we help fix in certain groups. It could be on LinkedIn, it could be on Facebook groups, it could be in conventions, it could be anywhere. And, I'm just lucky too, because my last name is Savage. So it's just people remember that. And it's, that helped me out a lot.
It's a memorable name.
Yeah.
One story I remember that we positioned ourselves for growth was that we worked with an industry that had a lot of suppliers. And when we worked with that person, they grew like many of our other projects, and all of the suppliers noticed a sudden spike in ordering.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you picture the company that hired us as growth consultants started to grow. We created more demand. The suppliers that fed that business their supplies noticed the spike. Then we had the suppliers hitting us up because they hit up the company that we grew, and it exploded, and they said, "What are you doing?" Then we got random calls from the suppliers that said, "Hey, I want to do whatever this guy is doing because I have other people that buy my supply."
Yeah.
So things like that can position you for growth just like that. If you go into an industry that's connected to other related businesses but not competing, and those suppliers will get word because they're going to see that the client that you're working with is ordering more supply. That's a great strategy.
Yeah, and there's like, I'm just thinking now that we're talking about it, I have so many different ways that
it's infinite, man. There's
so many different things that you can do. Honestly, if you're watching this right now and you're thinking, I'm in this situation, I want something to change, I want, to reach this goal, and I feel like I'm not in the right position. DM us. We'll help you figure out what that next step could be to position yourself properly, because there's so many different ways, and I can see how, if coming up with that way could be hard, you know what I mean? So please, feel free to reach out to us.
There's some really good case studies for people if they want to learn how other businesses have positioned themselves to be distinguished and be different. I always recommend my number one business book to read is Blue Ocean Strategy.
It's all about
look at those case studies. Look at
commoditization.
Cirque du Soleil. There's a lot of case studies in there. I read it years ago. I understood the baseline gist of it, and it stuck in my head like a tattoo. You can literally give me any business, and I will blue ocean it like that. Like I'll say, okay, change this, change that. So that's a great baseline on how to position yourself to stand out, to distinguish yourself. Read Blue Ocean Strategy or listen to the audiobook. It is a great foundation.
Also, the 48 Laws of Power. That's a great one as well. I mean, there's so many different books. So, people always say read, and it,
I'm an audiobook guy.
Same. And I was never a reader. Like, honestly, like the thing that I listen to some books too. I've read through so many different books. I think there was one that really made a big difference for me. I literally read it off of like a PDF. Was the 7 or 8 most like something about CEOs, and it was all about how they allocated money and how they compared all these different CEOs and the success that they achieved and the different things that they did in order to achieve that success. And it was very interesting. I'll give you the title of the book. You can put it up there. But people always say like, oh, read, and I never believed it. But like after listening to these books and it helped me understand how I can come up with ways to position myself or to,
you got to read objectively and still have a backbone and your own beliefs based on experience and knowledge. And this is my opinion, don't always, just because some guru says something, don't agree with it. Just because some guru said it. If it's not in line with your beliefs, your morals, what you think based on your knowledge, you don't have to adopt every single word they say. Because I'll tell you right now, some gurus have said things that are complete trash. And I will fight to the end of time to argue with them that they're wrong about something that they said. But let's say 80% of what they said, I could digest, I could relate with, and I saw the logic behind it. So I don't read business books. Oh yeah, this is gospel. This is everything I should do. No. No. For example, if someone starts talking about getting VC money, okay, VC money is going to come with a price. You may lose control of your business. Is that really worth it to you? Or would you rather stay somewhat small and be in full control of your business? Because once you get a VC, like I've read business books where they talk about getting VC and growing and growing and growing. But from my experience, I have seen companies that want to position themselves for growth, they get VC money, and then they lose control. Now they have board meetings. Now they got to talk about profitability. Now they got to talk about making cuts. Now they got to talk about this, that, and that, because the number one goal is to make a profit. Profit's good, but in the grand scheme of things and the big picture thinking and the
veers away from that big picture thinking.
The long-term thinking is it really worth it? Because some of the things that I've done as a consultant for clients, big business would never agree with. But when I do those things, I get their commitment, I get their loyalty, because they know I got their back.
Yeah.
Because if it's a profit-only driven mindset, in my opinion, that's a recipe for failure. That's a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for angry clients. You got to remember, I personally run my business with my mind, my heart, and my gut. That's not really a traditional business thing. And a lot of CEOs would tell me I'm crazy or whatever. I don't care. That's how I run my shit.
And you've done it successfully.
That's how I run my shit. I'm just a little bit different. I'm a little bit more down to earth. And that has separated me from the rest, where I get loyalty from clients, where other people will knock on their door and they'll be like, get out of here. Like, I'm sticking with Andy.
Yeah. And you know, it is great how you do that.
Yeah.
I do notice that there are some times where it does backlash, right?
Yeah, we've done things. I've done things on projects where I lost. I've shelled out cash.
That, though.
I've shelled out cash and to help somebody, and just found out it didn't come to fruition or whatever. But that's part of being a business owner. You take risks. It doesn't happen all the time, and the amount of times that it happens, it's a wash.
Yeah,
it's worth it. It's worth it to me to do that, to show when you put cash on the table and you show a client, I'm willing to invest too. That screams to the hills that you're committed too. You got skin in the game.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I do that all the time. Every once in a while,
but
client might need a little bit of help. Every great once in a while, maybe 1% of the time, something happens where like they can't follow through, whatever. But that's the risk that I took. But I was trying to show my client a little bit of love, that I'm there for them.
Yeah. And it's unfortunately sometimes, like business is business, people are really greedy, and
I can't stand that.
But it happens.
I fucking can't stand that shit.
But
when
like
people
I said,
just think about money. That is the worst. Think about what you're doing, what problem you're solving, helping the client get there, and the money will follow. Shut the fuck up about profit. That makes me enraged.
Well,
I can't stand that.
It is important. It is important.
It's important,
but you have to have listen.
It's the byproduct.
Yes, that's
profit. Profit and revenue is the byproduct of you doing your fucking job for the client. It's not you. Oh, this is the main reason. No. You're solving a problem. You're helping a client reach their goals so they can have a better life. And I'm kind of speaking more about like growth consulting, digital marketing, stuff like that. So like that's our world, but you can apply it to anything. So like, say you're a home builder. Focus on helping the client build their dream home. Listen to all of their requests. What is their dream? Do they want to, do they want an island in their kitchen with, this kind of stove and that? Take all that in and make their dream a reality and make that the focus of the conversation. Not, hey, well, I'm going to have to give you these shitty materials if your budget's not this. I would say, if I was a builder, I would say, okay, these materials are typically expensive. What I can do is I'm going to put in the time to try to find these materials at the cheapest price possible, so we're not sacrificing quality. And then I'm going to try to find maybe some type of bundle pricing, so if I get all of it at once, I can get a better price. Like, just show your client that you got their back.
But people will say like, well, yeah, but how do you stay profitable? If you do this, you can still be profitable. People are still extremely profitable. Some of the
you don't want to lose your shirt. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about being a charity.
You can still be profitable. You just gotta.
Your mindset should be: am I helping the client? Am I helping them reach their goals? Am I supporting them in a way that they need? Am I delivering what I promised? And that should be the focus. It just sometimes.
Are we veering away from the original topic?
I don't know.
A little bit. I don't know, but.
But here's what we're talking about. We're talking about positioning your business in a way to stand out, and standing out is very important. So that's a big thing with me, is positioning yourself for success, standing out from competition. Some other people's goals might be, I want to stand out as an employee. Okay? You want to stand out as an employee. You want to position yourself for growth within a company. Go the extra mile. Do that extra stuff. Show your employer that you're truly dedicated.
Yeah, and people are going to be like, oh, well, I'm not getting paid more. You got to have big picture thinking. You got to think about the long run. You got to think, listen, that's just, and I guess to tie it back is, that having that, it's all about mindset. Having that mindset, having that understanding, to reach that goal, like that's a big part of positioning. I've taken big hits where it's like, you know what? I'll take a big hit now. 4 months down the road, we'll be profit. Like, you know what I mean? It's just you got to have that big picture thinking. You got to be able to take a little bit of risk. And that's just all part of, being an entrepreneur. That's part of this life. It's part of it.
It has risks. And if you're nervous about being so different or standing out, just expect the downside of being a commodity. You are now just another cookie cutter carbon copy of your competitor, and there's nothing unique about you. Now what happens? It becomes a price war. People shop on price rather than you trying to position yourself to be different. So then price doesn't matter anymore, because they'll say, well, this guy, holy shit, he does this. He doesn't charge by the hour. This guy here is going to me for X amount of dollars an hour. I think I'm going with these guys because they actually care about the outcome.
Yeah, that gets tough because, I don't know.
That is my business philosophy, and I'll stand by it.
And I respect that because it works, and it worked. And it is working.
It's the long game. The long game is my strategy. I want to build loyalty. I want to build trust. I want to build just a connection with clients where a million competitors could knock on their door and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're talking about, so there's just two different things. So there's like the easy flip, like the cash grab, kind of like flip it, doesn't matter, profit, that's all that matters. And that's quick. And if you're looking for quick money, maybe that works for you. Is it the best way to run business? No. Is it how we run business? No, not at all.
It has a downside.
But yes, everything has its downside. And then there's the other side. It's like, really do a good job. You might not have the most profit, but from what I've seen out of many different case studies, this is quick cash, really quick. It's quick cash, but then it doesn't last as long. And this will just go and go and go and go and go. And the reputation that you build is amazing, and the work that you do is phenomenal. And it just goes the long run. You're going to reach very high levels. From my experience, if you run your business like that.
If you want to position yourself for longevity,
that's how you do it.
So you can solidify that long journey, that long game. For those that are watching that don't have a super strong business acumen, say you have a great product, great service, and say it's more of a higher ticket item. Remember, when you are the highest number on that P&L statement, which is a profit and loss statement, either the business owner or the CFO or the financial person in that company is going to look at what you're charging every single year and go, what are we getting for this? So try not to be the most expensive thing on that P&L, because you're going to find out really quick, and it doesn't matter how good of a job you do.
Cut.
Yeah, they'll cut you. And regardless, I have seen many businesses suffer from this, where even if you provide value and you're super expensive, like, okay, let's take digital marketing, let's take advertising. I've seen other people share stories in the same industry. They were like, yeah, we drove millions and millions of dollars in sales for them, and they still cut us. And just going over budgets and stuff and looking at the costs, and like, oh, okay, that's why, because you were the biggest number on the P&L. So sometimes, I don't know, it's weird. People look at the P&L and they're like, okay, what can we cut? What can we cut at the end of the year? You don't want to be the most expensive guy on that list, because now you have targets on you about cutting it.
But you don't want to be the cheapest one. This is tough. This is really tough.
You don't want to be the
We're getting a time thing, but this is the thing that's tough, is that, saying that is like, okay, but now I have to be cheaper, but you can't be the cheapest guy.
Not the cheapest.
You can't. This is the thing that I don't agree with when you're saying
the
this.
middle bowl of porridge.
Listen. This is the thing that I don't agree with when we're talking about this, is that I don't like you. Hey! This is the thing that I don't agree with when we're talking about this, bro, is that, listen, I understand that. I see the value in the work that you do. You value yourself at what you think it is. If you go onto Google and you look up how much does this cost you, and you're first starting a business and you're like, okay, I got to be a little bit less expensive, you're already commoditizing yourself.
But I have clients that have been with me for 12 years. 12 years.
I know.
So like, that's the long
You're
game.
not the cheapest.
No, we're not. Absolutely
By
not.
far. That's what I'm saying.
It's because we deliver quality and we deliver results.
And we're valued right, where the customer can see the value, and it's justified by the payment. It's just recently we've been having a lot of people. I don't know if it's because of inflation. Recently we've been having people say you don't charge enough. It's for different programs. We have many different programs. I was like, in this one program.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like,
that's a good thing though.
I'm like, okay, it's something very recent. Over the last, I want to say 9 months, we've been getting kind of feedback from projects that we're kind of feeling out, and but definitely, but we're not the cheapest game.
Not at all. No, we're not. You got to know how to value yourself. Take this entire conversation and just understand that you got to do some research, and you got to understand how you value yourself. Don't worry about the competition, because then you're commoditizing yourself, which, as Andy has said, is the death of any business. Oh, yeah. And it's true, but just what you need to understand and take away is that you got to know how to value yourself, and that's a massive part of positioning. Kind of like the water bottle analogy that I spoke about before. You got to know your value. Value yourself in a way that you see works. All right.
If you value yourself and you convey that to someone that's thinking about buying your product or service, people are going to pay for that.
Yes, it's all
they're going to pay for that. But in order to position you to ask for that type of ticket or price point, you need to very clearly convey to the client why.
Yeah.
Because they're not just going to pay it. You need to say, well, for example, this product is guaranteed to last 50 years. That means you won't need to replace this product for 50 years. They're going to calculate that in their head and go, shit, okay, yeah, I'll pay 40% more now.
There's so many different ways to explain that, but we're Look at the time.
What is it? How long was it?
45 minutes.
That's good. That's good.
That's good.
It's a healthy episode.
Nah, so listen. Like I said before, we talk about a lot of this, positioning stuff and especially from this episode, if you are in a situation where you feel that you're not in the right position or you feel that you want to make a change, please DM us. We'll take our time to help you out, and give you the most value that we can possibly provide. And kind of like what we're doing here, I hope that the value and the stuff that we talk about is providing a lot of value for you guys. And that brings me to, if you enjoyed this episode, if you found value in it, please like it, subscribe, turn on post notifications so that you get notified every time we post a new video, and check out our Instagram and other social media platforms where we post, updates, clips, and all that other good stuff. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Peace.